Alright, welcome people. This video is going to be a little weird because this is something that I don't know if it's gonna work at all, but we'll find out. The idea is basically to go through some of the custom skins that I have drawn in paint over the years. Currently I have 11 that we're going to go through, and maybe I'll make more, or at least make videos about them in the future. Some of these I've shared online already. This one is one of them, and I actually shared it not only before Rain Shepherd Fizz was made, but actually during the development cycle. So I'm not saying I did impact the release of Rain Shepherd Fizz, but I'm not saying that I didn't do it, you know. It's funny because the development cycle lines up perfectly, as if this skin would have been, you know, really the creator of Rain Shepherd Fizz. That said, the idea I came up with was Pond Master Fizz, right? And clearly it's a little different. It's Asian inspired. It's supposed to be a martial artist frog. I don't know. I just thought it'd be funny, and the biggest reason I thought it'd be funny was because I was tasked with creating a skin for Fizz, and I didn't really know what to do. But then I realized something I like to do is interpret the shape of the champion I work with, right? To understand, well, what makes them unique? Why are they interesting, right? What are the elements that, well, you know, could be changed to something else? Like a good example would be if you have a triangle, right? Then that triangle could be a slice of pizza, right? It could also be a slice of cheese. It could also be a pyramid from, well, a pyramid is a shape too, but like, you get what I'm saying, right? So it could be many different things. So what is a triangle is really the question. So using the silhouette of this, that's how I sort of thought to myself, well, he kind of looks like a frog, right? And clearly Riot agrees. So that's pretty cool. But I want to show you some of the other ones that haven't made it into the game yet. So first of all, we have Zombie Scion. And this skin I made because I like silly skins on tanks, because I tend to play the mid lane. And not only is that kind of a little bit weird as of in itself, the role is also just kind of stupid sometimes. Whenever they get ahead, they can just do whatever they want, and therefore it's just funny to run around with a silly skin when you're just going to be acting like an idiot but winning doing it, right? It's kind of like the Mundo gameplay, where it's just you're the most stupid champion in the game, but you win because your champion has reached its break point for being completely broken, right? So a few things. I tried to make or rather do a mix of some Minecraft zombie colors and general zombie tropes, as well as some Crazy Dave from Plants vs. Zombies stuff. And I actually think it turned out really, really good. I posted this online as well, and one of the commenters, or rather one of the people that responded, was like, made the joke that his passive would be him being alive instead of dead, which is obviously a really good idea because it's reversed of regular Cyan. So the one you're seeing on the right is his passive version. And then the other thing I specifically want to mention about this one is his ultimate, because I had this stupid ass idea where Cyan starts out doing the normal zombie walk, and then as he speeds up, he's hit by a car, and then the car just drives with him on its I don't know, on the trunk, right? I just think it's so stupid. Like a car driving down mid lane with Cyan on it, and then it just slams into someone. That's too funny. Right. So that's Zombie Cyan. We're probably going to be going through these relatively quickly. Next up, we have a Kiana skin, which is also pretty old. Don't worry, even that like this is made. All of these are made in paint, so they are generally not very high quality. But my drawing actually does improve a little bit over time, so you can relax, right? The idea here is that her weapon, the Omladel, I think it's called, is an angel, and she herself is actually a petrified devil. So the angel has imprisoned or shackled Kiana herself. And I just thought that I was tasked with creating like an edgy skin for Kiana, or at least some like a skin that one of my friends would like, and I succeeded, thankfully. So I'm also really happy about the idea itself. I thought, sure, it turned out pretty good for what I expected of myself. But I really like the idea of having this, having a devil that has been petrified into a statue, and then having the angel be the one that's in control. Then comes another skin that's an angel too. It's the same concept, but this time it's for Varus, right? And the idea behind this one is that instead of two humans being locked together with a demon, as is with base Varus being the Darkin, right? This one would be two demons that have been caged or apprehended by the angel, which is then Varus. I think that's a really interesting twist on Varus as well. I'm also generally, like, as you can see, the one on the right is the one that has the right size for what the skin could potentially look like, right? But it's scaled really poorly, so the quality is ass on it. I might remake this sometime, but the base idea was basically what you're seeing on the left. And then I sort of just, made it a little bit cleaner. The idea for these two skins was actually specifically a rework of the Arclight skin line. So that was my idea for creating this. And that's also why I chose Varus, because if you're going to rework the Arclight skin line, then why not give an example of one of the champions that already have it, so that you also can see sort of how it's different, right? I really like how it turned out for the time I made it. Like, generally, these are not very good drawings, but the ideas themselves, I'm happy about how they turned out. Then we have a little bit of a weird one. This is super pet and super villain pet Mordekaiser, and so stupid. So the reason I made these skins was basically because I took a look at Mordekaiser's helmet, and then I was like, well, everyone has been joking about him being a rabbit, right? A rabbit furry or whatever underneath the helmet. And then I made the rabbit mech out of it. And then I was like, that's kind of a good idea. Maybe I should, try and explore this with other champions. But then I realized, wait, his helmet also could be, a lizard head or a crocodile head, right? So I made both the villain and the hero version. But I'm also pretty happy about the ideas. I don't think the execution is very good. I've basically just replaced the heads, and then the rest of Mordekaiser is basically nothing. So maybe I'd redo it in the future someday, but I think the idea itself is good, right? Then we have this one, and I realized maybe I can't show it, because like, there's a bit, well, I can show it, right? But it's a really bad idea to make this is Anivia, by the way, to make an airplane Anivia skin, and this is pretty, oh my god, no, everyone knows, like, you'll know instantly, the moment you see an airplane skin in League of Legends, what's gonna happen with it. I swear to God, I don't even know if I can say it out loud. But basically, the issue is that people are just going to be tower diving with it. And that's not very good. So this is purely like an idea. I wanted to do something for Anivia, and at first I was like, well, why doesn't she have a fire skin? And the easy answer is that, well, she's a cryo phoenix, so it would defeat the purpose to give her fire skin, because the entire idea is that she's not fire. However, I also realized she doesn't have a dragon skin, and that would make sense for her, I think. That would be really good. So I was like, I'm gonna make a fire dragon skin, because that's far enough away from being a phoenix, and we get to have the fire skin and a dragon skin. That's great. But then I realized, wait, what if we just make her an airplane? And then I did that, and yeah, now kind of stuck in like, I can barely look at it, because I can't. It's the joke writes itself. So it's so stupid. Then we have, oh my fucking god, these ideas. Oh my god, this is so stupid. So this is Brogath, which is sort of the same idea as Brolaf a little bit, just modernized. So it's high school Cho'Gath, but like Monsters High School Cho'Gath. I tried to make him more of a furry, like Monsters Inc. monster kind of deal. So that's why he's got that brown, like, I tried to make it look like fur. Don't know if I managed to do that, but that's the idea, basically. And then make him a teen monster, right? I don't know. Like, it's, I don't know. I think it's so fun to do these kind of things. I think this one was a success too. I also like when I got to the point of making his head, right, which is the way I started with this one. Immediately I made the cap. I wanted to give him a cap, and then I was like, wait, we can just put it on top of his head, and it just looks stupid, because he almost looks like a bishop, and that actually just gave me the idea to make a bishop Cho'Gath skin. I'm not gonna do that now, but oh my god, that's stupid in a good way. One thing I actually really liked about this skin is how writing Void on his cap actually looks really cool. So I like that. But yeah, yep. This is Brogath. Then we have Fishman Sack or whatever. I don't know. Anglerfish Sack, something Sack. I sort of wanted to try and make this into a supervillain / superhero skin. Ultimately, I didn't end up doing that. It just became like a regular fishman. Because otherwise I would have just have I would have given him a tight suit on and then written like a superhero logo in the middle. And, you know, it's basically just a chroma, so the base idea is still the same, right? I really like this one. This is where it became, where my drawings also start to become a little bit better. Also because I'm using the silhouette of, you can see on the background, right? I'm using the silhouette of the champions. I did the same for Cho'Gath and Anivia, right? Had a lot of fun with this one, but it took a lot of time, like a lot more time than you'd anticipate. It was pretty gruesome to actually finish it. I also just realized that the fin on his head, I didn't fill out the color. Oh my god. I also messed up some of the see-through stripes, or not stripes, but lines. It's whatever. It's whatever. The idea's across. That's all I need right now. Then we have Handyman Aphelios. And this idea came from the fact that Aphelios has a lot of weapons. And then I was like, okay, so Aphelios has a lot of tools. What else has a lot of tools? And well, a handyman is pretty obvious answer, right? And so I was like, there's no way I'm gonna make a handyman Aphelios skin. How's that ever gonna work? And then I put up like this image of his weapons, right? And then I sort of tried to make each of the weapons into some kind of tool, and then it worked. And I was like, okay, this is so dumb. I'm just gonna make it nice, right? Because originally it was basically just making the outlines of the weapons and then seeing if I could turn it into some kind of tool. And so when that worked, I just made this sheet and actually put a little bit of effort into making it look nice. And then I just slapped the clothing on top of Aphelios. But yeah, once again, I don't know, I just think it's so funny. I think these ideas are mainly funny. And then we have, spoiler alert, but then we have Ice Troll Annie. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I thought about, well, I wanted to make a skin for every champion. That was like a plan I had. And then I looked through the champions from A to, well, I started with A, right? And I got through some of them. And for Annie, I had to think of a skin, right? And I was like, I don't know what to do for Annie. What's gonna work for Annie? And then I realized, wait, she has her little teddy bear Tibbers. Then she has herself, and then she has big teddy bear Tibbers. And then I was like, well, what if they are the same, but different sizes? And if you sort of think about that a little bit, a family is kind of like that. Those are the same people in some way, or they're not the same people. But you know, it sort of makes sense, right? You'd have the child, you'd have a little bit, you know, a slightly bigger child, and then the parent, right? So that's what I ended up doing. So it's Annie with her little brother Troll that she carries around, dangling from her hand. And then it is Papa Troll, which is Tibbers when Tibbers is on the battlefield, right? I just think that's really, really funny, too. And my main goal with these skins in general is just to try and be creative about them. To try and push the characters somewhere else where Riot wouldn't take them, right? Then we have Rain Shepherd Blitzcrank. And oh boy, I love this one too. I love this one so much. It's just a bunch of frogs hanging out on, I don't know what to call it, like terrain, I guess. I don't know. I adore this one so much. I remember originally getting the idea about a frog sitting on some kind of terrarium because of his head kind of, you know, I thought, well, Blitzcrank's head could kind of be a cute little creature the same way that something like Fright Night Nautilus is, right? Or, I don't know, like, I haven't really thought about that many specific skins, but like something where you replace it, something like his other skin with the cats, right? Space Groove, Blitz, and Crank. And then I was like, well, it could be a frog. And then I sort of looked at Blitzcrank and I was like, wait, there are quite a few things here that could be frogs. Because he's got the grab, which could easily be a frog tongue. Which means you could make his hand a frog. Then he has got the thing on his back, which could be a frog. And his shoulder could be a frog. Now, I didn't end up doing that, but still. And then I took a look at his legs, right? And I was like, wait, what if it's a frog that carries around the terrarium or whatever? Then it was a rock I ended up doing with some nature stuff on it. I just think it ended up being really cute and really fun and really creative. Very happy about how it turned out. Then we have Siren Ari. And Ari is a champion I don't like particularly much. So I don't know what made me choose. Well, I had to go through champions with A, right? But I don't know what came over me to actually make such a... I think it's a good idea. I think that making her an octopus is kind of like... That's a pretty easy conclusion to make, because she's got a lot of tails, and you could make those octopus legs, right? Then I gave her a... what are they? Like a cutlass as well, just because I wanted to see how it looked. Obviously, a cutlass is not going to work because her tails are fluffy, right? So you could probably reskin them to octopus arms, but not a cutlass. But yeah, I think maybe it should look a little different. I think the green doesn't really work as well as I would have liked, and I think just making her a complete octopus lady siren thing would have probably worked better. But I'm also pretty happy about how this one turned out, compared to my feelings on Ari. Now that I think more about it, I think removing the face of a champion to do something interesting with the silhouette is actually quite an interesting idea, and something that Riot just does not do. I don't know why, because it's not game breaking. Like, you can recognize a champion, you should be able to at least. Even if they don't have the face. Like, let's say I covered up the face, but I didn't change the silhouettes, right? So, but yeah, I mean, she's like a money bomb. So I imagine if you'd remove the face, probably less monetizable, right? Anyway, on to the next. And wait, I'm finished. I thought I had more. Well, okay then, that's fine. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's gonna be a little shorter than normally. I hope you enjoyed the skins as well. And I also hope that, if you have some good ideas, please do let me know. And I'll try and see if I can make them into reality if I agree with them, right? Or just give me ideas in general. I love that shit. I had a lot of fun doing many of these. Some of them took so much time. Like the Blitzcrank one, the Annie one, and the Zack one took so much time. Cho'Gath also took quite a bit of time. If I recall correctly, Sion took a lot of time. They took a lot of time to do. There's not much else to say, honestly. I just wanted to make sure I got an upload, because I'm still waiting to get a computer that can actually, produce real videos instead of just these 20, 40, an hour long videos where I just talk. But in the meantime, I can at least leave you with this. And then I'll try and make, if you do like this, I'll try and make 10 more skin ideas for next, maybe not next week, but at some other point, Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you another time.